So hello, welcome back to the third session of ultimate guide of Linux and preparing for the any interview. So today we are discussing the important topic that is related to Linux file hierarchy structure. So the Linux file hierarchy structure. So we are discussing this is our topic. So Linux file hierarchy system, what is this? So let's see. The Linux file hierarchy structure or the file structure hierarchy standard define the directory structure and directory content in the Unix like operating system, and it is also maintained by the Linux Foundation. Okay. So and it also maintained by Unix and Linux Foundation. So if FHS file system hierarchy, so this one term is FHS is the file hierarchy system. So all files and directory appear under the root directory, that we know that this is the root directory slash even they are stored in the physical or the virtual devices. Some of these directories are only exist in a particular system if contain the subsystem, okay, such as X Windows are installed. Okay, most of these directory exist in all Unix operating system and generally used in many way or same way. However, the description here are those used specifically for the FSS, that is FHS, file system hierarchy and a file, what do you call, file system hierarchy standards. Okay. However, the description here are those who usually for the FHS and are not considered the authoritative for the platform other than Linux. So so slash, what are the slash we can use in this one? So the first slash, that is use here. So first thing is that slash bin. Okay, slash bin is an essential user command binary. Okay, it's essential user command binary, and we write slash boot. Okay, so it is like static file or the bootloader. So when we write slash one, when we write slash dev, so it is known as a device file. Okay, device files slash etc. So etc mean host specific system configuration. Slash home mean that a user home directory. When we write a user home directory, slash lib, when slash lib mean shared library, slash media for the removable media, slash m for the temporary mounting file system, and /srv. /srv mean that a data for service for system. Okay, /usr. So /usr stand for the user ultimate and application. Okay, so this is known as the root directory. Okay, this is the root, and at the top of every Linux system it is a root directory and represented by a forward slash, and it is the base point and no directory exists above this one. Okay, if you look at all the file system graphically, you will see that all the directories branching from the root directories. Okay, only the root user, root user have a permission to modify the content inside the directory, and regular user cannot make changes here. For example, if you want to attempt the create a file in slash forward slash as a non-root user, so you will encounter a permission denied. Okay, error. Okay, so root directory, so it's the important one. Okay, so now the first thing is slash bin. So that is slash bin. So yeah, right. So text. So here slash bin. Okay. So slash bin, so in this case, we can say that. So this directory contain essential command and binary needed by all user, including cp, ls, ssh, and kill. So these commands are universal, available across user type. So this is ls. Okay. So these are the directories. So the directories. Okay. Directories. Okay. So content directory essential command. So directory and okay, it's contain essential command. Okay. So type okay slash bin. So content binding executable only a common Linux that is used here. Okay. So we have so when we have gone to the bin Linux directory, so we will see only essential command related like cp, copy things, ls, ssh, and kill all these things. Move to the next command that is slash bin slash boot. Sorry, slash boot. So in this we can say that so these directories store all files required for booting the system and include grub, bootloader, configuration, and essential kernel file that are loaded during setup time. Okay, we will we see that this is a directory will store all the file required for the booting this system that include grub, bootloader, and configure and essential kernel file that are loaded during the setup time. Okay, so like kernel, init.rad, VM, Linux, grub file, all these things are these are installed in this one. So like files like a dev inside the dev file. What is the dev file? So in this we can say that so device file in Linux are stored in the slash dev file directory. These are the special files that act as an interface between hardware and the software. Like device file are two type: block devices, and another one is like character devices. So block devices are the hardware drive, and the character device are like microphone, speaker. Okay. Like third is like slash, like we consider slash dev is a file directory. So in this special fact that act as an interface between hardware and software and like a device like and type, and another is like character devices. So one is that block devices, block device and character devices. Okay, block and the character. etc is for the editable text configuration. So next fourth is the etc. So etc means that the short form editable text configuration. etc content configuration file for system, application, user services, and the tool, or it contain the host specific system wide configuration file. For example, a user detail like UID and the local address are defined here. So when we're talking about the etc, there is a short form of the editable text configuration. etc contain configuration file for system, application, or user services, and it contains the host specific and wide configuration file. For example, like a detail like UIDs and the local addresses are defined here. Okay, and the next thing is that is etc, then etc all this here. Home, we're talking about the home. So inside home we can write, so every non-root user has a personal directory inside home. For example, if your username is Asu, so your personal directory would be /home/Asu. So each user can create, delete, modify file only in their own home directory and can access the other user home directly depend on the security configuration. Okay, so we'll do the personal directories. Okay, directories, and inside the home, for example, if your username is Ashu, like Ashu, So your personal directory is slash home slash asu. Okay. Slash home. Okay. Slash asu. Okay. SHU ASU. So like you can create or modify directory, and you can also access the other one, but depend on the security, like security, all this thing. Okay. So where we write all these things. Okay. And this another is that lib slash lib. Okay. So slash lib application required a shared library. So okay. So application required a shared library to run, which are stored in slash lib, and these include dynamic libraries needed during runtime. For example, Apache server library are available here. Library frame file name and either LD or LIB. So example ID 2.11.1 is this thing are there. Okay, sorry for the disturbance and sorry for this one. Okay, you can skip this part. So where we are, so we cover the part lib, and so we move to next part slash media. Okay, so like device like USB, CDs, and pen drive are mounted under the slash media. So for example, when like CD-ROM is inserted, its detail will be appear. So that this will explain. So this part will explain the all the like, external part that are used here. Okay. When we reach to the M slash MNTs, so that so when the external device are connected and they are temporarily mounted in slash MNT, so this is where the content become accessible to the system. Okay, so like temporary mount directory where the SS admin can be mounted file system. Okay, and the third part, the next part is slash opt slash PT. Like the third party software and the package not part of the default system installation and are stored in the slash optional. So it include their configuration and the data files. Okay, so contain add-on application from individual vendor. Okay, so this is the optional part. Okay, like contain add-on application from the individual vendor. Add-on application should be installed under either like optional or like subdirectories. So like third party installation and this has been. So this directory hold administrative binaries like IP tables, firewall management tool, FS key, init, route. These are inside the admins. Okay. And then SRV. So like site specific data served by system. So such a data and the script of the web server, data offered by FTP servers and repositories of this version control system. So SRV is like site specific data server where the system such as data script of the web server that offer these things. Okay. So SRV stands for service. Okay. Like contains several specific services related data. Okay. And another thing is that is temp, temp. Okay, like program create a temporary file during execution and these are stored in the temp. So these files are deleted automatically after the program finishes or when the system is restarted. So temp store the temporary files. Okay, and the slash user slash USR. Okay, slash USR, the secondary hierarchy for the read-only data contains the majority of multi-user utilities and the application. And props, all these things. So like last thing is that it is props. So like in the procs directory provide detailed information about system processes. Each process is assigned a unique ID and representation as a directory inside procs. For example, slash procs meminfo give a real-time data about memory uses and include total free time buffer and cache statistic. Okay, so it contain information about system processes. Okay, so we cover all this like file hierarchy structure inside the Linux. Okay, so file hierarchy system in this Linux. Okay, so next thing is that next thing we have to see. So next thing is that what we are doing, understanding the understanding the directories that are things. So like Linux permissions, and the next thing is that Linux permission. So where we start? Linux permission. Then inside the Linux permission, like we can say that in Linux permission we have like three basic permissions. So every file or directory must contain have three permissions. That is like read, write, and execute. Okay, so three permission they have like 1, 2, and 3. So like read, view the file content and list the directory, and write mean modify and manage the file. Okay. And the first, the basic permission, and the second is like ownership and permission group. So permission are assigned to three category of user, like user, okay, group, and others. So these are the like ownership. So permission are assigned to three categories of the user. In file permission, so like operation chart plus minus. So plus mean a permission, minus mean remove, if is equal to mean that set a permission to a specific user. Okay. Like permission group in Linux. So permission group in the Linux, the first permission are represented as a 9 character. Okay. So first, like first permission. So what we're gonna, this is permission groups in Linux. So permission groups in Linux look like this one. So it is like a 9 character. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Like a user, it is a like a user, it is about the group, it is about the others. Okay. And user, group, and others option. So like U stand for user, G stand for the group, and O for other, and A for all three. Okay. Like checking permission of the file in a Linux, how we check the like permission of the file. So let's dive in understanding the possible method to check all the permission detail of a file, including like file permission. So if we are talking about the so like file permission. So if we check, here is the like, command. The command is ls command. So like command like ls, that is we write. So like we are talking about narex is the default name. So if we want like ls ls, so ls l nonce dot and nonce dot txt. So like output will be, output will be like RWRR, the user group 46 April this. The above command represent the following information. The first that indicate that if the D is indicate, next the security column owners. Okay, all this thing. Okay, name I. So permission or symbolic notation. To change the file permission in Linux, we can use like a chmod. Okay. Okay, these are the things that we have permission. So octal representation for this one, octal representation of the like Linux. So octal representation or notation permission in Linux. Like read, so like the read is denoted as a 4, write is denoted as a 2, and execute is denoted as a 1. Okay, the permission of owner group or like something 3D thing. Okay, so all these things are there. And security permission in this Linux. So what is the security permission? Security permission in Linux. So like security permission in Linux. So like we, for example, we have write, rx, and r minus minus. So like I get this one. So rw is the 3 character. This rw, which mean that the owner of the file can read, okay, and write. And this second is r hyphen x is the second set of 3 character. So this means that the member of group can only read and execute. So in this will read and execute. R minus, this is the final 3 keywords. So R minus, which show the permission allowed the other user who have the user ID on this Linux system. This means that anyone in Linux world can read, write. So in this manner, anyone in this Linux world can read or write. Okay. Okay. So this is all about the like Linux permission. So permission is like 9 characters. So like Linux permission, all this thing. So octal representation and security and all this thing. And what is count, okay, root user, regular user, read, write, execute thing, change the ownership, change the ownership of the file, okay, change the group of the file, okay, next thing, like change owner and the group of the file, change the owner only if the current owner matches, okay. So different way from which we can change the ownership or the permission in the file. So option available in the CHOWN, character ownership. And like what is the difference between soft link and the hard link? So link in soft link and hard link in Unix. So soft and hard link in Unix and Linux. So these are the things we have to see now. The link in the Unix, so we can say that, so like we can say that a link in Unix is a pointer to the file, like pointer in any programming language. And creating link is a kind of shortcut to access the file. Link allow more than one file to refer to same file elsewhere. There are two types of links. So first is soft link that we call as symbolic link, and another is a hard link that we call a hard link. So these link, so one is like soft link, and that we call as a symbolic link, and another is a hard link, and that is hard link, okay. So like these link behave differently when the source of link, what has been linked, is moved to remove. Symbolic link are not updated, and hard link always refer to the source even if the moved or removed, okay. Soft link cannot be updated, but the hard link always refer to the source, okay. For example, if we have a text file a.txt, if we want to create a hard link to a file and then delete that file, we can still access that file using hard link, okay. Okay, but if we create a soft link to a file and then delete the file, we can't access that file through the soft link, and soft link become dangling. Basically, hard link increase the reference count of a location, while soft link work as a shortcut in a window. So what is hard link? Hard links, let's see. So hard links, so mean each hard link file is assigned to the some in node value to original, therefore the reference to a same physical location. Hard link more flexible and remain linked even if original or linked file are removed and throughout the system, okay. So is like ls-l command, so all the link with the link column shown in the numbers of links, okay. Link have actual file content. Removing any link just reduce the link count but does not affect the links, okay. Even if we change the file name of the original file, and then also the hard link properly work, okay. We cannot create a hard link for the directory, avoid the recursive loop, okay. If the original file is removed, then the link will still show the content of the file, okay. The size of any of the hard link is same as the original file, and if we change the content in any of the hard link, the size of all hard link file are updated automatically. The disadvantage of the hard link is that it cannot be created or filed on different file system, and it cannot be created a special file directly. It's a common to create the hard link. So like, so how we create like hard link, like dollar ln this like original file, original name, okay, and this list link name, okay. And what is soft link? And then when we're talking about the soft links, okay. So a soft link is similar to the file shortcut features, a file shortcut feature which is used in Windows operating system. So each soft link file contains a separate L notes value that print the original file, okay, as a similar to hard link. any changes to the data in either the file is reflected into the other. So soft link can be linked across different file system across. If the original file didn't move, the soft link file also not work correctly. Okay, that is called hanging link. So ls-l command, so all the links with the first column value as L, then the link point to the original file. Okay, the soft link contain the path of the original file and cannot be and cannot contain and cannot and not the content. Okay, so it contain the original file. Okay, removing the soft link is not affect anything, but removing the original file, the link become dangling. Okay, the soft link can be linked to directory. Okay, the link across file system. If you want to link file across the file system, you can only use symbolic like the link. Okay, so for that one you have to write the code, that is so like dollar, okay, ln hyphen s s, and this is the original name, and this is the link name. Okay, so this is the what is the soft link and the hard link. Okay, so we understand the Linux file system by soft link, hard link, Linux permission, and the directory like Linux file hierarchy directory, all these things like dev, boot, etc, home, library, media, mount, optional, spin, srv, temp, user, and this process. Okay, so okay, just wrap up this session.